Happy Pride Month, everybody. A time of month where weirdos on the internet get on and say, we're straight Pride Month. A time where everyone who's from a small town has to actively try to stay away from your small town social media. A time of year where every single corporation across the globe changes their profile pic on every social media account to include a rainbow, except if that account is in a nation where that would directly result in losing profits. And of course, a time of year where every corporation across the globe slaps a rainbow on their product and hopes to sell it to gay people. Hi, I'm Harrison, I run these here parts, and while I am not part of the 2S LGBTQIA+ community, I consider myself an ally. Now, this whole channel's focus is around the card game of Magic the Gathering. And a massive struggle I've been dealing with that's actually hurt my motivation and inspiration to continue making videos on this channel is the constant battle between Magic the Gathering, the art form, the reflection of life, the thing that has passion and emotion obviously behind it, versus Magic the company. The thing that is going to do what is financially best for them, and they don't mind if it steps on a couple toes. And they also don't mind if it means supporting a movement that they totally don't actually care about. So given the time of year, I figured I would look at Magic the Gathering's previous attempts at Pride Month. A quick note, I am not talking about representation. I think Magic has done like a serviceable job at inclusion in the game. I think, they could always do a better job at it, but as they move to have better inclusion behind the scenes, it will serve to have better, more organic inclusion in the actual game itself. This video is directly about Pride Month related content. So I'll go on each year's Pride event. So 2020, for several reasons, 2020 feels like the dividing mark between eras. Like the 2010s feel very different than the 2020s, especially in regard to social activism. 2020 is the earliest thing I can find online of Magic actually doing something related to Pride Month. Despite this, Magic already had established queer and trans characters throughout their stories. Their first entrance into Pride Month was rainbow branded shirts, which is probably the most vanilla entrance into Pride Month. Just take the merch that you were already going to make, slap a rainbow on it, call it a day. I think it counts as a barely passing grade. If I was to put this all in a rubric, I think it'd be meets expectations or just below meets expectations. Definitely nothing to write home about. I will give them a slight benefit of the doubt. They might have went the most absolute basic way to get into Pride Month, but all profits from this year's shirts went to the Trevor Project, which is a non-profit organization that goes towards preventing suicide in LGBT youth. Obviously a great cause given the reason for the season. There is an additional layer to this as well. This is June 2020. You couldn't really do anything in person. 2020 also feels kind of late to show up for Pride. Like a lot of companies, when it comes to corporate activism, they'll kind of wait until the very last moment where it's safe to embrace Pride. They don't feel like they're going to lose profits, and they feel like the risk of embracing Pride and facing backlash from certain communities is going to be offset by the profits you're going to bring in. According to another article they posted later on, it seems like 2018 is actually when they started doing the shirts, which still feels kind of late, but it's at least a little earlier than what they originally had. Magic did a bunch of back-end changes, so this is why 2020 is probably the most recent thing I can find. So a lot of those back-end changes made it so a lot of robust sources of information from about earlier Magic are just gone. But even with that, why wait until 2018? They're doing it to bring in a profit, and a quick retort to that is usually, well, they're giving all their profits away to Trevor Project. Yes, they're doing a good thing in this regard, but they're bringing in people who are well, now that I see Magic is doing this thing, they're supporting this group, I'm going to spend more money on a booster box. They're getting to it in a way. So while it did feel like it was kind of late, and it does feel like they're just taking merch and slapping a rainbow on it and calling it a day, and both of those are both typical signatures of rainbow capitalism, I could at least see some positive in this negative. To take it back to that whole rubric analogy again, if I was to look at this as a grade, I would see this as a C, but I can a solid C, but I could see this student having potential. So 2021, they've entered the space. They've had some time to think and work. On June 1st, 2021, Wizards of the Coast, the parent company of Magic the Gathering, put out an article titled Celebrating Pride in LGBTQ plus players and employees at Wizards. I'm going to give you some direct quotes and then some commentary on top of it. Wizards of the Coast Pride 2021 celebration is bigger and more robust than it's ever been. Yeah, I sure hope it is. This is seemingly your second year of doing it. If I'm to believe the other articles I found on, this is seemingly like your fourth year of doing it, and all you've done beforehand is just put shirts and rainbows together and called it a day. They go on to talk about how Pride isn't a single moment, it's a lived experience, which, okay. They name drop Stonewall. There's a big focus on being authentic and on diversity and intersectionality. They're hitting all of these buzzwords. I don't know how much I can take a company at face value when they're talking about being authentic, because at the end of the day, the whole reason behind them doing this is to try to push more product. But at least they're saying some things that I feel like some lights are on upstairs. Like, they are saying things to me that demonstrates that someone who worked on this article or worked on this whole collaboration actually understands or has at least done a lot of research into this topic. They even go on to mention how as a company they're working on healthcare benefits to better aid people or employees who are transitioning, and then also cultural revision for new and existing products. I think this counts as a win. Even if it's not something really tangible, I still think it's a win. There's a big emphasis on how Pride Month is much more than just Pride Month, and the activism can't just start on June 1st and end on June 30th. That's big. Perhaps my favorite quote from this whole article is, "Pride Month is so much more than rainbow colored swag." Good. It feels like we're really hitting home here. While this article doesn't exactly say what they're doing for Pride, Wizards of the Coast as a whole, at least through this article, seems like they're on the right page. At the very least, taking the right steps. But this video's intent is to see what they actually did for Pride. So let's take a look at the article about them talking about what they were doing for Pride. They sold shirts with rainbows on them. Pride Month is so much more than rainbow colored swag. They literally called something out for being bad practice and then did it. Now this time support went to a different group. It went to Lambert House, which is more geographically close to Wizards of the Coast in Seattle. This is actually D&D's previous Pride efforts has given money to this group, so this collaboration makes sense. I do want to say though that like the previous year Trevor Project got all of the money from the shirts. All the profits went from the shirts to them. And now it's just like an undisclosed amount. Buying these shirts will directly support this group, which is frankly kind of shady. The next big thing, they're waiting for Pride Month to do it just the perfect time. To make this Pride Month special, it shows up right on the post that they're talking about what they're doing for Pride Month specifically. And it's some people I've never heard of before playing D&D. This is gonna be a little bit of a tangent because obviously D&D isn't Magic the Gathering, but like two things. I don't know anything about these people, I've never heard of them before. Why should I care about them playing Dungeons and Dragons during Pride Month? Second thing, it's supposed to be a Pride themed D&D experience. From my experience playing Dungeons and Dragons, every game is Pride themed. All proceeds from this event will go directly to Lambert House. So now it's even more clear with the phrasing about the t-shirts. They're just sending an amount. They're just doing whatever. They just want to slap their name on it and say like, okay, we're donating to charity. Who knows how much? It could be $5, it could be $500, it could be $500,000. It could be what's inside this mystery box. I think Pride Month 2021 is full of talking a big game and not supporting it whatsoever. And that is like to the nth degree. They really led with an article that talked about how big they are as people, how great they are about Pride, how Pride should be more than just June, how small it would be to just sell Pride shirts and not act on it. They had big plans. And instead we got worse shirts in a live D&D game. The ounce of positivity I had about 2020 is gone. This is like C to like C minus D plus. 2022. So after a year of a marginal pass and a year with a lot of talk and no action, surely this year could be better? Normally this would be a joke, setting up how 22 was just even worse somehow. But I think 2022 is a genuine win. 2022 is the year of Pride across the multiverse. This is a secret layer where 50% of each purchase went directly to Trevor Project. And not only did buying this product actually go towards helping the queer community, but we actually saw multiple parts of inclusion in Magic's lore. Let's take a quick rundown. Triumphant Reckoning features Nico Eris, which is Magic the Gathering's first non-binary planeswalker. Save for the Moment features the wedding of planeswalker Ralzeric and Orzhov Advisor on the plane of Ravnica Tomek, a ship that was canon and teased beforehand, but now we actually see the wedding. Alicia, Who Smiles at Death, gets a big card right here. Her card back on Original Tarkir was a big moment because we got this trans woman as a character, and then the updated art also carries a significance with it as well, as trans elders are often overlooked part of the community. Collective Voyage shows a pride parade traveling through Kaladesh, featuring Kaladesh native Chandra, and off in the distance you can see Nissa. Chandra Nissa is a long-running Magic the Gathering ship, and it only recently became fully canon, so at the time when this card came out, that was kind of a contentious area. Heartbeat of Spring features Watley and Saheeli Ray canoodling. It's a newer ship, but it's just as valid and just as important. After that, it moved from less representation of the characters and more of just iconography. Mana Confluence depicts a group of mages who are lined up with colors correlating to the pride flag. Sol Ring is a little difficult to look at as an actual card, but if you look at the art itself, it features tons of LGBTQ plus iconography, and of course the ultimate pun in Bearscape. They saw the opportunity, they went for it, they didn't even flinch, and I commend them for it. In my opinion, this product is one of the best things they could have done for Pride Month. I think there are for sure a lot of ways you might be able to tweak it and make it better. Sure, you could always donate more money. You could always bring focus to more underrepresented communities. You could always do something. But even when I'm trying to find ground to criticize this, I keep finding things that I like. One of my suggestions was going to be assuring that the art for these cards was made by artists from the community. But not only did they do this, they did a great job at finding great representation throughout. There are several parts of the community that are not often represented that are represented in this group of artists. Back to the whole grade rubric thing, this is an A. Easy A. Alright, 2023. Obviously, a big year to follow up. You just knocked it out of the park. What do you do now? 2023 was more Pride shirts. They at least released a playmat with Bearscape's art from the previous year and attended a local Pride parade. But wow, I get this was a hard act to follow, but at least try, please. Even including the playmat really makes it feel like, hey guys, remember last year when we did that cool thing? And just trying to stay relevant. They knew they struck gold and they just could not follow it up. If last time was like an A to A plus range, I don't know if I give this a passing grade. And it's not like what they did wasn't okay, it's just the fact that we've seen it already. Magic, this is the 5th time in a row that you've basically just made shirts and called it a day.
Sheen, this is the 7th week in a row you've shown Ultra Lord in class.
It's self-plagiarism at this point. And that brings us to this year, 2024. Our final year, the final year of human existence. 2024, we have Magic Presents Pride. What a vague name. This feels like the type of name you title a file before you know what you're really doing. Like titling an essay. And you're like, oh, I'll go back and change it, and you just never do. Magic Presents Pride is an event that Stores in Good Standing can hold, where it's an event where they play my favorite format. I've said this a bunch, but it feels like every other fan-made format nowadays is just Commander but X. Commander but you can run Planeswalkers. Commander but there is no Commander. Commander but you actually try to win the game. Magic Presents Pride is just Commander but you get to play with 2 Commanders. You might be thinking, that's just partner. You're wrong, and you're a fool for ever questioning me. Magic Presents Pride is Commander, but you can play with 2 of any commanders together, as if they had partner. I think the idea here is that we're shipping these characters. I don't entirely get how this works with Pride. Partner as a mechanic isn't an inherently romantic partnership. There are separate examples of partner being siblings or being an owner and its pet. The next step to this is that you can totally make a hetero partner pair. I'm saying this right now. If I show up to an LGS's Pride event and someone's playing Kithian and Chandra, I'm calling the judge immediate DQ. Immediate DQ. Get him out of here. Also, no polyamorous relationships. If you have a commander that already has partner, you can't just put two partners together and bring in a third. I get the intent and I understand the cleverness behind this whole event. It does feel wonky, but I appreciate the effort that is actually behind this. It's not just let's throw rainbows on stuff and call it a day. I also appreciate bringing in LGSs into this. Magic has really stepped on the toes of local game stores in the last forever, so this is a great way to try to drum up something. There are a couple more obvious problems though. The one is that there's a promo Pride card that's supposed to come out with this, and they have not announced it. I think the most lukewarm thing they could do with something like this is just printing maybe a foil version of one of the cards that was in the Pride product, the Pride Across the Multiverse product, or like a soul ring with a rainbow on it. The worst thing that I could legitimately see them doing is printing common or uncommon and just slapping a rainbow on it and calling it a day. My other problem with this is that it's only available in Canada and the US. Magic has a problem with doing content outside of North America, and this definitely feels like a case of the meme that goes around this time of year, where you have like corporations all changing their social media profile pictures to rainbow, but those corporations also have like social media accounts designated for certain geographical regions, and the ones where you actually will be assaulted and murdered for being gay, they don't do this. I think it shows that while they're clever and fun and playing around in a fun area here, they don't really have a spine. So there it is, every year's Pride on blast. If WotC came to me and said, okay, smart guy, why don't you make the perfect Pride event? I'd probably either tell them to expedite Pride Across the Multiverse 2, and this time make it bigger and better, or maybe just have to wait until next year. But WotC doesn't give me money. Nobody does. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to bolt your birds.